Hello, cool, attractive, and smart listeners. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Press Podcast. I'm Noah, and today co host Lewis and I talk about the fact that we've been on hiatus for a month. We catch up, we shoot the shit, and we decide to dive our little toes into the current writers and now actors strike going on in Hollywood right now. If you enjoy what you're listening to, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Give us high reviews across the board so we can get really popular, climb the charts, and I can get that sweet, sweet HelloFresh sponsorship money. See you in a bit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, days and M's. My name is Luis Gutierrez, and welcome to episode 56 of the Geek Press Podcast. It has been nearly 1 month since we recorded, and in that 1 month, a lot of stuff has happened. Noah Garcia is no longer with us. He decided to cross the picket line, join the corporate bigwigs.
No, I'm not here for this.
and
No,
and we
I
got
didn't cross.
it's a
No.
good thing. It's a good thing he did that because now we have Timothy Chalamet, whatever his name is, the guy from Dune, you know, and apparently he's Willy Wonka now. He's joining the podcast. What's up, Timmy? How you doing?
No, I'm not doing this. I am fully support the writers' strike. I fully support the writers and actors
Yeah,
writers
you
strike.
support the
They
writer's
deserve
strike.
livable wage.
Name the first three
They
albums.
deserve the B side, the A side, and the favorites album.
Yeah, then why did the writer's strike and SAG? Why did they break up originally, huh?
I don't know why did they break up originally, Lewis.
Oh, I thought you were a true fan and you would know this.
Well, you would know.
It's because they're being unreasonable.
Right,
Duh.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to
That was a
edit this
joke.
out. I'm gonna edit the entire thing out unless I forget. Hi, I'm Noah Garcia. Each podcast, I'm subjected to a celebrity impersonation, but Lewis is calling me a scab, which I had to vehemently
But I
oppose
thought
because
you're
I
a
am
blue
not.
beetle. I thought you're sick.
We'll talk all about that. We'll talk all about that in a minute. That's one of our topics for today. But hello, we're a life pulp culture podcast. I'm Noah. That's Lewis. And Lewis, how are you? What have you been listening? What have you been watching? What media have you been consuming? What's going on with you?
I have been a busy bee.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a lot of things. So essentially, I had Anime Expo come up, and then I had a lot of interviews. That entire week was pretty was pretty busy for me nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a lot of connections with people, and sorry, I got a stuffy nose, but I made a lot of connections, and I did a lot of interviews, and it was a fun time, but it was just very fucking busy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw the TikToks, and I'm pretty sure the listeners probably saw TikToks or videos. That Anime Expo in Los Angeles, California, is just one of my biggest gripes with it is that they sell too many tickets. They
Mm-hmm.
purposely do that because as someone who goes to conventions in LA regularly, I know what the LA Convention Center should look like, you know?
Yeah.
Cuz
So you know when it's at capacity.
yeah, I know exactly when it's at capacity because I go to Los Angeles Comic Con every year. That's when I always make time to go to. One, because it's Comic Con light, it's San Diego Comic Con light, and it's right here. It's a hop skip away, and it's not gonna break the bank. It's
Mm-hmm.
the prices at the top of my head aren't, I don't remember. I want to say like $40 maybe. It's not too steep. So like I said, you're not gonna kill yourself by going.
Mm-hmm.
So and then also too, I would go for E3 when that used to be a thing. When WonderCon used to be at LA Convention Center, I know how it's supposed to look like, and it's one of my biggest reps because this is my second Anime Expo, and the first one I had the same exact feeling. I'm like, fuck, this is way too long. So yeah, they just sold way too many tickets. But going back to what I said, I met a lot of people, and one thing I was super happy about is that the PR people representing Anime Expo are they happen to be a gaming PR agency as well. Like at least
That's right. That's right up your alley.
exactly. And so I met a lot of the PR folks there, and I was exchanging information. And these PR folks, I've been trying to get like I've been trying to kind of like nudge my way in with them a little bit because they represent a lot more of like the pop, like the big games, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to like dunk on the other PR agencies, but like it's just from how it looks from my end. They do a lot more like first parties with like Xbox, PlayStation, shit like that, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've been trying to get in cahoots with them because it's only gonna help me. And I was talking to a lot of the PR people there, and we were exchanging information. Everything was going pretty good. So yeah, hopefully they put me on their list because I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, and then I came home. I just had to kind of relax for a little bit. Just like I every day, dude. Like I was like drenched in sweat. Like I it's the best way to put it. It's like when you come home from the gym and you feel nasty
Mm-hmm.
because you've been sitting in your car and like you're a little
You
sweaty.
have like a gross like layer of like griminess on you,
Yeah,
and you're
it's
like,
almost like
ooh,
a second layer of skin, if you will, you know?
yeah,
And that's how I felt every day after Anime Expo.
ooh.
Like my girlfriend would talk to me, like some she would usually pick me up, and so we do that, and I'd just be like, babe, as soon as I get home, I'd be like, just let me take a shower really quick. And those showers, it felt like what I would imagine,
Mm-hmm.
fucking King Arthur was how he felt when he thought he came out of the Fountain of Youth. It just felt fucking amazing. But yeah, that was that. And there wasn't really too much after Anime Expo. I've just been kind of, living a life, I guess you could say. But I've
Mm-hmm.
been watching a lot of TV. Like I don't know if I talked about this on a podcast, but I finally
Mm-hmm.
finished Shameless.
Oh, you've been slowly working your way through that.
Yeah, I finished it.
Our boy Cal Kestis.
I finished it maybe like a week or two ago, and the ending I thought was pretty solid. It was a little weird because there was one character, her name's Fiona. I forget her actual name, like the actress's name, but
Mm-hmm.
she left the show 2 seasons prior. And she was such like I didn't like her character as the show went on, and it's kind of divisive if you do or don't. But nonetheless, her character was such a big character because she was essentially the lead of the show, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
when she left, other people kind of like try to take that role, and they did this like typical trope where they're reflecting upon like the entire show, so they're doing like flashbacks and shit, and everyone is there but her. But she's in the flashbacks, but she just wasn't in the final episode, and
Mm-hmm.
you would think that she would be in the final episode. So it just felt a little weird, but I thought the ending of Shameless was actually pretty good. Like nonetheless, like I enjoyed that show. It does have some flaws. I'm not gonna say it's a perfect show because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of like inconsistencies and like just shit they introduced just to drop. And but if you're not if you just kind of like don't really mind that, you just like, all right, just another just another one to fucking add to the list. You'll enjoy the show. It's a good show.
Mm-hmm. Often when you have shows like that, it's like when they last more than like a season or two, it you can be a little worried on whether or not they'll really stick the landing, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally
Mhm.
feel that. And now too, I just started watching The Bear.
Uh-huh.
It's a really good show. You guys
Oh,
should.
I've heard nothing but good things about The Bear.
Yeah, I enjoyed season 1. It was one of my favorite shows last year. And
Mhm.
season 2, I'm like kind of like I'm like on episode 4 or 5. I'm really enjoying it. And then also my girlfriend has been really wanting to watch The Sandman. So we got through the first episode of The Sandman, and that was fucking great. I'm really excited to continue watching The Sandman. I think you'll like
Mhm.
it a lot, Noah. It's very
Netflix, like the Neo Gaiman comic?
yeah, it's based off of the comic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been meaning to look at that. I just always forget.
The first episode is effectively a movie.
Oh,
Like
wow.
like if you had just watched the first episode and be like, yeah, this is a short film, you'd be like, oh shit, this is good. It's the CG they use is really well. Like you could tell a lot of money went into this. So yeah, that's been that, and I haven't really streamed in like a month, two, give or take. Like I've
Mhm.
done our D&D streams. I think I've did like one or two Resident Evil streams, but I haven't really done that. And one thing I am looking forward to though is that the other day my girlfriend and I went to Barnes and Noble, and I read mangas, but I only
Mhm.
read 3 mangas because it's just like comic books. It's so easy to get caught up in, like, this story, that story, blah blah blah. So I limit myself to just 3, and I'm really happy too because the 3 mangas that I've been reading are coincidentally, uh, the hottest animes out right now. So I've been reading Chainsaw Man, Spy X Family, and Zom 100. All
Mhm.
3 of those are like really hot animes, and so I'm with 1 issue behind on Spy X Family, and I'm like 3 on Zom 100. So probably after this podcast or later today, I'm just gonna just read
Mhm.
my mangas. But yeah, I talked a lot for a hot minute.
Oh, I do have a question though. I have a quick
I
question.
have a quick
Uh,
answer.
uh, oh my gosh. Okay, so I was watching some like library TikTok or something, and they're
Uh
like
huh.
showing around not library, a bookstore. It was like Barnes and Noble Long Beach or something like that.
Yeah, that's the one
Uh,
I go to.
and they posted like manga, and they're like, oh, don't watch out for the ones it like not watch out, but they're like, look at the ones that are all wrapped up. And I was like, what? I went into the comments and I was asking because I was like, what? Why are some of the mangas like wrapped up in plastic? What does that mean? And then somebody answered me underneath it. They're just like, oh, that means they have porn in it. And I was like, what? Is
Yeah,
that true?
yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they're there, but it's not like, you could clearly see. Oh, that's the plastic one,
Yeah,
But
it's not obvious. Honestly, it just looks like other like regular manga is just wrapped in like a plastic wrap.
effectively, it's a trade paperback. Not a
Yeah,
trade paper, a bag and board. It's a bag and board for
yeah.
your manga, for
So
all
I
you
was like,
comic
that's
nerds.
so yeah, that's my quick question.
Yeah.
As for me,
Also,
I've been
really,
oh,
really
sorry.
quick, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Uh,
Once again,
one
I'm used to it.
one thing too that I was super excited for is that you can read my preview on GameSpot, but the Pokemon team sent me to Santa Monica to like crash at a hotel for a night. There's
Mhm,
really Noah picked me up. It was this super fucking fancy hotel right next to Santa Monica Beach. I would never
mhm,
have been able to afford that in, like, a million years. But what I was saying is that they sent me out there and I got to preview Pokemon Sleep, which was really
mhm.
cool, and that was a lot of fun. Like that was a lot of fun. But yeah, you should go check out my preview. It's on gamespot.com.
And you know what? I think just the way you described it and other people described it, I think I'll download Pokemon Sleep when it drops. I want to try it.
Yeah, it's a cool little one. I saw your tweet where it was like, I got 4 devices and this and that. Like
Yeah,
that shit was funny.
like so I can't wait to go to sleep and get some shiny Pokemon.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've been doing pretty good. I've been listening to this brand new podcast. Let me look it up. It's called For Light and Dice. It's a Star Wars tabletop podcast, and it's if we have any D&D people here, it's there's different like Star Wars game systems. This one is specifically made to be friendly to people who play Dungeons and Dragons. So it's like it's basically Dungeons and Dragons but for Star Wars. So you don't have to like you know how to already roll for certain things. Like you don't have to learn a new system basically. And they're doing it in the High Republic, which is like years before the Republic starts. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, it's a fun time. I've been doing that. I have been reading more. I'm gonna sound like an old lady, but I don't care. I've been reading I at my library there's a book club, and I picked up some books. I picked up a couple books. The one that people might know the most is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It's a book that takes place before the events of Game of Thrones, and it's just this guy called Dunk.
Uh,
He's like this
i-
big.
Is
Mhm.
does that tie into House of Dragon, or is that like its own thing?
You know what? I have no idea because they came out before House of Dragons.
Okay,
I'd
okay.
have to I'd have to actually Google that. I don't know. But, it's this guy named Dunk, and he's just like it's not like some big political thing. It's sort of just him, like, dicking around, like, "Oh, I'm a knight. Let's go find out what the fuck's going on." So, it's if you wanna get into Game of Thrones, I would definitely recommend it. It's just called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Like, J.R.R. Martin or fuck, did I say his name right? Martin.
J.R.R. Martin.
Yeah,
George, you got me.
George.
George R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin is very much
J.R.R.
known for
Martin is
like
his fucking brother that they have locked
it's
in the
just,
basement.
he he gets a Google pin because we mentioned him. He's like, ding, like, oh, someone mentioned me on their podcast. Oh my god. But yeah, if you want to get it, because those books, the Game of Thrones books are known for being like very descriptive and a little
And
meandering.
sensual.
And yeah, they'll spend like a page, an entire page describing like the food on a table. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but some people want to get to the point. They don't want to like a description a page long about the food on the table. So if you want to read Game of Thrones and you want something a bit faster and easier to read, I would definitely say Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. You don't have to deal with too much politics stuff. It's a lot of this guy just like trying to be a knight. He's just trying to be a dude and he gets some friends and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It's pretty good. Uh I'm so excited for you in your career. You've been making moves, and now
Thank you.
you have a little bit of a rest now, like a little bit of a rest period. Like we talked about it. Like you've said before, like either you're super busy or you're just kind of like sitting there.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
This week was one of those weeks where like the last week I racked in a good amount of money. This
Mhm.
week I barely like made like $100. So I
Yeah.
was like, fuck.
So I've been applying around. Nothing so far, but as soon as I won't tell anyone. I'll wait till the podcast if I get a job so I can drop it first on the podcast. I won't even tell my mom or anybody or you or Rudy. You have to wait till the podcast.
Hmm.
I can be like, I got a job. I work at Fox News. I'm their ethnic guy, and that's my plan.
I was a little hurt. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
I'll put this out. I'm not gonna name drop it,
Yeah.
but there one thing like what you said about like freelance work is that there's either you're swimming in work or you have not enough work. It's one or the other, you
Mhm.
know. And there that's it's I love the gaming industry. It's always been my goal, but
Mhm.
it's hard to love something that doesn't love you back, you know.
Yeah, it's
So
like a distant dad.
yeah, not that we would know how that
Not that
feels.
not that we would know how that. Yeah, we wouldn't know.
So I've been looking at like other means of like employment, like making money. So I have a few things kind of lined up, but there was one thing in particular I was kind of excited for was that I was looking at a job board, a job like blog website that's all about journalism jobs and shit. And I saw this job. It was for, it was for said position and it was part time. And I was like, this is perfect. I can do this and I can still
Mhm.
freelance. So I'll be making, no matter what, I'll be making money, you know?
Yeah, you'll have the steady income and you'll still be able to like do what you want to do.
Yeah. So I was actually really excited for this. So I brushed up my resume. You already know this story, Noah,
Mhm.
because it literally just happened. I brushed up my resume. I got super excited. I even had my girlfriend look over it. I had you guys look over it, and I was gonna hit apply. As soon as I was gonna do that, as soon as I hit apply, it sent me to the actual like website for to apply, and it was like,
Mhm.
oh, this position is closed. And I was like, fuck. But thankfully, I have a homegirl who works there, and she has that same exact position. And she was telling me that like, hey, we actually need people. I don't know why they closed it. I know, and this is her talking. Like, I know they just hired somebody new, but I'm pretty sure we're understaffed. Here's my
Mhm.
boss's email. Email her and name drop me. So I went ahead and did that. So I'm hoping that I can get that position sooner rather than later because that would be cool. The only downside is the pay isn't all that much and it's a bit of a drive, so it's kind of a trade off. But it's part time, so I won't be there like 5 days a week. I'd probably be there
Mhm.
like four to 3 days out of the week. You know,
But it's in person.
it's in person and it like
Okay.
this particular like studio like news studio. It comes with a lot of benefits. Like I said, I don't want to name drop them because I just don't want to like sound like I'm talking
Yeah,
shit.
I get it.
But hopefully, I'll keep you guys updated on that too. But yeah, I'm sorry.
We
But
don't we don't want people to be jealous.
yeah, it's also Fox News. I'm also gonna be the the other ethnic diversity one.
You're the ethnic and I'm the queer ethnic.
Yeah, so they
They
hit
they
two check
mhm.
marks.
They hit 2 check marks, and honestly, we just appear on camera for, like, 15 seconds, so they can say that we're there, and then they stuff us back into, like, a broom closet.
It's like, when like the news station, they show like the
Mhm.
anchors, and in the background you see all the workers.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
us.
no, but all we're doing is walking back and forth every like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have, like each time we walk, we have a new outfit on and a different hat.
Yeah.
So, like, we have the appearance of different people. But I got to meet, Kevin Bacon, so that was pretty cool.
Wait, what?
Yeah, well, oh, no, I was joking, at our fake
Oh,
jobs. No, if I met no, I was saying in our fake jobs, I met Kevin Bacon. I asked him to dance, and then he punched me.
is he like super Republican? No, he's not.
No, I actually have no
He's
idea.
like pretty liberal, I think.
I think so.
He was in
I've never seen
Footloose.
Footloose. I just know he was in Footloose. I've never seen it. I've
Why?
heard it's fun though. I
But
don't know,
you,
white people dancing,
but you know what's not fun though, Noah? The strikes.
strikes can be fun. When we're taking down the man.
But
That's
yeah,
right. There's an actors writer strike. Well, it started off as a writer strike.
yeah. Nobody cared when it was the writer strike.
Yeah.
I'm just now that the actors chimed in, everybody is going mad. Batman. Okay, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Just ignore what I was saying.
It's very excited because, this is the first time both unions have decided to strike since the 1960s.
Since Reagan was fucking
Mhm.
the
He was
leader of the
fucking ar since he
SAG.
was fucking.
Yeah, I was watching a TikTok. It was funny because
Mhm,
Reagan was Ronald Reagan, the worst president in the history of America.
mhm,
Was he was like the leader of SAG,
mhm,
and years later when he became president, his one of his first like big things was he fucking shut down the strike happening at the airports. He was like,
mhm,
"You guys shouldn't be striking. It's unpatriotic." This and I'm like, you know what? You're looking up at us right now, Reagan.
mhm.
So yeah, fuck Reagan. That's
Honestly, fuck Reagan. I noticed that the older you get, the less you give a fuck about strikes, I feel. Because I know I was back when my grandpa could, like, walk as a person. He's not dead, he's alive. But back when he could back when he could walk as, like, a person and, like, drive and stuff, we were going to the grocery store and we went to Food for Less, and the workers were striking, and he just walked right past them. And I was like, "Grandpa, we can't go in there, they're striking." And he's just like, "I gotta get corn.
I don't
Gotta
know.
get
Maybe that's
groceries."
just a generational thing because he was
I think
probably
mhm.
kicking during the Reagan era.
I know, but I was like, "Grandpa, your grandfather fought for Emilio Zapata. We have rebel blood in our veins. Like, what are you doing?" And it's just like, "I gotta get groceries, gotta get corn." And I was just like, "Damn, okay." But you know what? Anyways, the point of this is that fuck Ronald Reagan. Kennedy was a hot president. We'll never forget our bisexual king.
Pretty mind
So
blowing
yeah,
guy.
yeah, he was. Except the thing about Kennedy is that he was a selfish top. Like he never gave, he only received, and it's an interesting and fascinating history. I want everybody to look up John F. Kennedy's boyfriend. He had a boyfriend. Jackie Kennedy was really upset about it. It's a whole thing. But what we were talking about the strike, right?
No, we were talking about your theory on Kennedy being a top.
I feel I just feel like he just gave off the vibes of like a toxic top, like always receiving, never giving.
I'm listening.
But
I'm keep going.
yeah,
But
that's just the vibes you get, like, the pictures you seen. I need everybody right now to look up Lem Billings. He was, known for a, quote, "close relationship with John F. Kennedy and the Kennedy family." Just look it up to see what pictures, and they're very gay pictures, but, yeah, that's just the vibes Kennedy gave off, toxic bisexual top. But, yeah, back to the writer's strike. It's very exciting. It started at the beginning of June when, the motion picture and television producers, they entered negotiations. Shit just wasn't going well. People don't really get residuals for streaming anymore. Like, there used to be a whole thing where, like, if your work aired, you would get paid every time it aired. Like, you would get the upfront payment for work, and then if it aired again, like, you'd get a small percentage of that. But, like, that's something that stopped a lot due to streaming. Like, they're trying to cut a lot of payments, and the guild was just like, "Fuck you guys, why are you trying to fuck us over?" And it all fell apart. There was no deals, and it did not work out. And a big thing was also AI because they don't want to actors already like sign away their rights for their voices
You
of
you jumping topics.
and
Different
stuff.
guild.
No, it's a part. Well,
Oh.
I'm talking about how that, and then that also I'm saying that already happens.
Mhm.
So when you look at writers and you look at AI like Chat GPT, like they're fearing something similar. Like, okay, well, we see that we could have something right for you. And that's like fucking with writers' jobs because AI is good, but AI also steals a lot. It can sometimes be incomprehensible. I'm okay with like it's a slippery slope because I'm okay with AI for like fun. But like the
Yeah.
moment it starts replacing jobs, I'm like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I use AI when I've said this publicly a lot. When I'm working on a one shot, I've talked about it on the podcast a few times, and
Mhm,
I've used Chat GPT to come up with like fucking elf names or, like tavern
mhm.
names, shit like that. Like but I don't actually use it for like work purposes.
Yeah, so like something fun like that, I'm okay with it. But when it comes to like taking people's jobs, like that AI, they took our jobs. Like they're taking our jobs, and I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. And so they went on strike, and then
Mhm,
productions were still going on a little bit because scripts were already in play. So
mhm,
studios are just like, fuck it, we're not gonna have any revisions or anything, or if we do, we're gonna have scabbers, which those are people who it's a term I learned fairly recently,
mhm,
is that scabbers are people who work against the union essentially. So
mhm,
let's say, for the sake of conversation, Noah and I are both writers, and Noah and I
mhm.
are both on strike right now. But Netflix comes to me and they're like, "Hey, Luis, we'll offer you $10,000 to write the next script of Stranger Things." I'm like, I'm
Sheesh,
like,
I'll do it.
I'm like, fuck it, I need money. Fuck the union, and I go ahead and do that. I am now a scabber because I have actively worked against it. Same thing goes, like, turn that into actors, if you will. Same scenario. There you go. That's how it is. Obviously there's a little bit more nuances to it, but I kind of just dumbed it down.
Yeah,
That's scabbing.
which is like such a gross term. Like you're scabbing like a wound.
I
Ugh.
honestly, like, I don't know, whenever I see a scab I pick it.
I don't. That's such a bad habit though, because like your skin will heal fine, but if you pick at a scab, it'll leave a mark.
Yeah.
So, so anyways, I'm very off topic today. I'm so sorry. We could talk about Kennedy all day, but recently actors have decided to strike alongside the writers. So several productions have halted. Uh, I think most notably, what I think something had been struck. I forget what it was. We can't have dead air. Actor strike is just affecting Hollywood everywhere.
You
Like
good? I
everything.
You were just like thinking out loud for a minute.
I was actor strike has just like everything's halted. Everything in production has halted. So it's very interesting. I think Tom Cruise stopped filming Mission Impossible.
Oh no,
Uh,
Tom Cruise.
do you not like Tom Cruise?
It's Tom Cruise. He's cool. He's cool, but
I the
you
thing
can't ignore the fact that he's like fucking level 10 Scientology member.
oh no, and all the I don't actually care, but all the late night TV shows are probably gonna stop.
They've been stopped.
Have they been stopped for a hot minute?
Yeah,
Oh, they
those
have
those
the
are
writers.
that was the writers. Yeah, they've been stopped. Now Jimmy
Mhm.
Fallon cares.
Now now he cares. I hate Jimmy Fallon.
I used to
And
like
it's
him.
not he has weasel energy.
Yeah. hmm But okay, so going to the writer's strike,
Yeah,
Noah's jumping all over the place.
I
Uh,
am. I'm
um,
very chaotic today.
like you said, the writers are striking because they're not getting paid enough. They wanna include streaming into like their the residuals and stuff, but they just
Mhm.
couldn't find a middle ground for whatever reason. And it's more than likely it's because the studios aren't willing to nudge. It's that's tend to fuck the corporation.
Mhm.
And so that's why they're striking, and then not the writers, the actors are striking for the same exact reason, effectively, because I saw this statistic where it was like 87% of actors that are in the guild. I think it's SAG. 87% of SAG actors, it may be 87, but it's in the high 80s for sure, I believe, don't qualify for health insurance because in order to like get health insurance, you have to make, I think it's like at least 27K a year. So
Mhm.
majority of SAG actors don't even qualify for fucking healthcare. And if all of our American listeners, healthcare is fucking expensive. Like I don't like going to the doctors because it's gonna cost me an arm and a leg. So these
Mhm.
majority of these people here aren't even making enough. And a big thing that just happened was that it was revealed that studios are trying to use AI to essentially clone background actors,
Mhm.
and they pay them for the one job, and then that's it. And then after they pay them for that one job, they copy and paste them in the background. They don't ask for their permission, they don't pay them, and they're trying to cut corners to save money, which is fucked up too because it's like, yeah, you get, it's a joke. Oh, just a background actor, this and that. But that's to those background actors. That's a big fucking deal for them.
Mhm.
They're in a major motion picture, big or small. They contributed to that movie, and you're gonna like dick them over, like, and it's I don't really know, I'm not an actor, but
Mhm.
it's that classic romantic tale where it's like, I started as a background actor and I worked my way up and now I got my lead in like the first big thing. You're just
Mhm.
depriving people of shit like that. So
And
that's
even if it is background work, it's still work, it still matters to the person, so you're, like,
exactly.
taking what they consider to be their job, their talent, and saying, like, we'll use it once, and then that's all you're worth."
Hmm.
It's just really disrespectful.
So that's essentially what's going on at the strike. I'm pretty sure if the listeners have probably already heard. Hopefully, maybe I made it a little bit more concise. I know Noah, we're joking about it, but we're kind of jumping all
Mhm.
over the place because there's a lot going on all at once, and because of this too, sets have had to completely stop. Like w- the two that are coming to the top of my head was the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. They had
Mhm.
just announced that Carl Urban is going to play as this guy named Johnny Cage. And if you guys are
Mhm.
familiar with Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage, in Mortal Kombat, everyone is like, this deadly ninja assassin, blah, blah, blah. Johnny Cage is a fan favorite in the series because he's a movie star. And he's just so happens to be a really good martial artist. So he's like the most cockiest
He's just
fucker.
a guy,
Yeah,
he's just there.
he's just a guy. And but he just so happens to be really good at martial arts, and they
Mhm.
just announced that, oh, Carl Urban's gonna be Johnny Cage, and he flew out to set, and as soon as that happened, the writers went on strike, and then production stopped. So he flew out there essentially just to fly back, and then on top of that too, I don't know how far into the production of Dune they're in, but they were filming Dune 2, The Return of Dune, and they stopped. It's not happening no more. So movies and shows are officially kind of they're done for
Yeah.
now. And it's funny too because in light of all of this, House of Dragon, the HBO or Max
Mhm.
show,
I was just about to mention that.
yeah, is still going. So they are hiring scabbers to work on the script, and they're getting actors to still do that. So, and it's really funny because I was talking about this with enemy of the podcast Diego the other day, that it feels like the people who own Warner Brothers are just trying to like fuck over them as much as they can. So, and I never finished House of Dragon because it kind of like fell off for me. So I wonder how this is gonna affect them because I remember one of the shows that I'm really fond of is a show called Heroes, and
Mhm.
the first season's really good, and then it just kind of gets progressively worse as it goes on.
Mhm.
And the reason for that is because that was during the writer's strike. So I wonder if we're gonna have another case of that where it's House of Dragons. The first season was by all things considered, it wasn't bad, but I wonder if you're gonna see this drastic drop now because it's they don't have professionals there to work on it and shit. And a show like House of Dragons, like a big blockbuster, the final script is never the final script. It goes through like 20 fucking drafts, even on set. So I wonder how that's gonna happen, like how all that's gonna play out, because movies and shows are gonna be kind of done right now, and it's kind of to bring this into like another perspective. It's kind of like when COVID first hit, and productions were halted, and also too like with gaming, like studios kind of shut down for a little bit, and because of that, it was like when did things start opening back up? It was like late 2021, right, or
I would
2022.
definitely say 2021.
Okay, yeah. So like when 2021, 2022, when there was kind of a dry spell, there wasn't any video games coming out. There wasn't really any movies coming out, Like, so I feel like we're gonna have a repeat of that, but obviously with like the film and television side of it now. We're gonna have a bit of a dry spell, because, rightfully so, these workers are on strike. So I do wonder too how much, like, how long this is gonna go, because Bob Iger, I joked about this in the beginning of the podcast. The CEO of Disney was like, "Yeah, they're being unreasonable. Like and I'm like, bro, you fucking make more than God, and
He's
you're."
he's like he's like in his private yacht with like a diamond champagne goblet. And he's just like, these writers and actors asking for a livable wage. How dare they?
Yeah, and I was like, bro, you make more money than God, and you're saying that.
Yeah.
And then I forgot which other exec said this, but it was like,
Zaslav.
oh, you know what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah,
Where
I think I know what you're
he
talking
was
about.
like, "Oh, we're gonna keep the strike going until all of the writers are homeless, like till they can't
Yeah.
pay rent." And I'm like, "Bro, how fucking like that is like cartoon villain shit right there, you know?
Cartoonishly evil.
That's
Yeah.
something Doctor Doom would say in the Fantastic Four fucking cartoon. Like, come on, you know? You can't make
Literally.
that shit up. Like, you really can't." And I was just like, "How fucking demented you gotta be?" And I've been talking a lot. Do you have anything to interject
I
before I kind of segue into
I
something else?
I will say that I could be wrong, but I'm quoting a variety.com article that that the House of Dragons is composed of a lot of UK actors, and they're working under contracts governed by a local union in the UK
Hmm.
that's called Equity. So the series is technically allowed to continue filming because Equity members aren't legally allowed to strike in solidarity with the US union. So the
Wow.
UK, yeah, so the UK local union are not allowed to strike with the US union. So
I wonder how that's
Equity,
gonna
mhm,
affect those UK workers, because I'm pretty sure the
mhm.
industry is gonna be kind of looking at them a bit of a side eye, you know?
Mhm, and it's interesting because they have no protection. So if they do decide to strike, they have no protection against being dismissed or sued or anything like that.
So these people are legitimately like just trying to work. I can't. Okay, so
Yeah,
I can't. I
mhm,
regard. I take back what I said about the scabbing part, about them. So I didn't know. Thank you
mhm,
for
but I mean,
educating me on it.
if they grab any US writers for the UK, then those are
Yeah,
scammers
yeah. So
100%.
I take back what I said about that. So thank you
Mhm.
for letting me know. So it's, I guess
Yeah,
these people are just trying to work. I completely
mhm,
understand that.
and that's even, like, more fucked up because it's like they can't even join in solidarity, and they could get sued or fucking reprimanded for trying to, have solidarity with
That's
the American
capitalism,
people.
baby.
That's capitalism, baby. So yeah, Equity is really just like, "Fuck you guys, fuck the US." So, yeah, for any House of Dragons fans, shout out to you, I guess. I've never.
We should just invade the UK.
We should just honestly
Finish what we started.
a colonialism, but reverse.
Yeah, just full on invade them. Just take it
We have
over.
a museum of British artifacts, and we're like, "Oh yeah, we rescued these from
The
the UK."
American British Museum. I love. See that fucking sounds perfect.
All right, let's do it. And I also want to say more about the strike. I think it's horrible. And if there are any writers or producers or people that work for like David Zaslav, if any of them are listening right now, you can email me and I will tell you why you're wrong. Just email me the list of projects you have that need writers, and I'll tell you why you should be listening to the guild. Just email me at Noah Garcia G 672 at gmail.com. So yeah, just email me to see what happens. Like, I'm not a scab. I would never scab. I just want to be emailed so I can tell you how wrong you are. Hire me. No, I would never be hired. Who said that? Lewis. How
And
dare you?
what's what's interesting too is that
Mhm.
I'm seeing a lot of discourse online that about and I'm sorry, I'm looking at these tweets as I'm saying this, so I gotta put my phone
You
down.
know what? We have our research up. It's fine. It just shows that we're well informed.
Is that this has created a conversation to be had now about how do you cover how I'm a journalist. I'm an entertainment journalist if you want to like put me in a bubble. And it's like how do you cover this now? Like do you talk about I'm just going to make this up. This isn't true. Do you talk about the latest Blue Beetle movie how they just announced that, the main villain is going to be Booster Gold? Again, making this up, not true. Do I talk about that now? Like because inadvertently I am helping the studio. Yes, I am doing my job, but it's creating this weird thing because it's like now do I stop doing my job because I'm not trying to say like, oh, I gotta stop doing what I'm doing because of you, but like, do I have to stop doing that part now because in solidarity with you now, And another thing that's being talked about is that there is this TikToker who I won't name, but he has an infatuation with One Piece. That should give you all the information you need.
You know what? Somehow that told me everything.
And this particular TikToker was saying, "I'm, I'm still gonna go to red carpet events, and I'm still gonna do this, yada yada yada. I'm not scabbing." And like I'm happy that the comment section kind of checked this person because everyone was like, "No, you're kind of scabbing. You're. So it's raising this question too because like I'm seeing a lot of like of mutuals like tweet out like do like how am I supposed to like critique film now? How am I supposed to do this? It's creating a conversation is being had, and I don't have the answer to that because if you had to even put me in a smaller bubble, I am more of a games journalist than I am a entertainment journalist when I talk like film and television.
Mhm.
So I don't have the answer to that. But I am like glued to my phone right now and looking at all of my mutuals who are specifically like film and television, and I'm like, how do we navigate this? Because occasionally I do write the entertainment story like every other week, like for IGN I primarily cover entertainment, but for GameSpot I primarily cover video games. So that's why I'm just like kind of looking at this. I'm like, how do we talk about this? This is probably I'm talking out loud, but this is probably something I would need to discuss with my editor.
Mhm.
But it's interesting for sure because it's like we were talking about this off the air too. I'm like, we want to talk about Ahsoka, we want to talk about like Blue Beetle, but it's like, how's the correct way to do that?
Mhm.
Sorry,
I think
go on.
I think it's different for the two of us because as while you're not like directly involved, I feel like you have somewhat of a relationship with that industry. But me as a fan with no to little to no like digital
Like footprint.
power, I have a footprint, but I have like no power. I have no notoriety. I think as a fan, I don't know if there's anything wrong with consuming that media, but
Hmm.
I kind of understand why. Like, I get it. Like, I also was looking at some tweets and I saw somebody who was a writer say that they received an official email saying that journalists doing their job will not risk their membership to the guild if
Hmm.
they're a part of the guild, which I think is interesting. And it's like because that is your job, but the point of a strike is that if everyone works together, you make a noticeable difference. Like, you need to
Hmm.
make waves in order to affect change. And I mean, like, I just a headline earlier that the stars of Oppenheimer, they walked out of the UK premiere
Hmm.
as soon as, like, the actors thing began, like, they walked out apparently.
Good for them.
So, like, they're so, like, that's like a public display of like, "Hey, we're off, uh, fuck you," and they just left. Shout out Florence Pugh, just, for no reason in particular, I just think she's neat. But, yeah, they walked out of
You
the
just want to
premiere, so
have
it
consensual relations with her
no, I would never do that. In fact, Florence Pugh should email me so I can talk about how we could just be friends.
consensually.
Consensually, of course. There's no other way. But yeah, I just
Sorry, sorry.
I and that's it's a very tough conversation because if those screenshots that one person posted is real, then I guess you could go out and do that. But it's more of like I wonder if it's sort of like an ethics thing. Like, do you
Yeah.
want to be contributing to that? And the
Hmm.
question is, are you contributing to that? And that's something we can all have a conversation about.
Yeah, and going back to that thing too, like again, I'm
Mhm.
not name dropping people, I'm not shaming people, but it's like I have mutuals who go out to like red carpet events, or the studio will fucking fly them out to some exotic place to go talk to the actresses. Like, do you do that now? You know, like do you still where does the line get drawn?
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to see that, because going back to what you said, I think this is like a ethics thing. So
Hmm.
and again, I'm saying stuff out loud right now, more ideas are coming to me, so just kind of follow me here.
Hmm.
A lot of I'm kind of biting the hand that feeds me a little bit, but a lot of like games journalists, their parent companies, all they care about is money, you know. So
Uh-huh.
I could see situations where it's like, editor A gets invited out to, making this up again. Blue Beetle. I'm just saying Blue Beetle because we were just talking about it off the air. Blue
Hmm.
Beetle is having a press junket in fucking Italy. I don't know why. It's the first thing that came to mind. And they're flying journalists out to go to Italy, go talk to the actors and actresses. Editor A is gonna be like, no, I don't want to cover that because I don't want to support them. Parent company will be like, hey, editor A, fuck you. You want to lose your
Hmm.
job? Get your ass over there. Or they would just be like, we don't give a fuck what you want. Like, if you don't go, we're just gonna send somebody else then. So, yeah, there's been instances where I stuff like that has happened. So I wonder how that's gonna play out.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm just thinking out a lot.
No, we're you know what? We're all thinking out loud. Like, am I gonna skip like a Latino led superhero, like maybe I think the first Latino led superhero film
Yeah, and
ever?
it's such a bummer too, because I know you've been that's like half your Twitter timeline is you talking about Blue Beetle, and I know you're like
Mhm,
super excited about it.
mhm.
And
And I noticed he put the actor, I believe he's in Cobra Kai too,
yeah, he's one of
Zolo.
the leads. That's how you say his name?
Yeah, Zolo.
Okay, I've been dancing around saying his name for like years.
Or at least I'm pretty sure it's Zolo.
Okay.
But he basically put out a video like, "Hey, I can't promote this film because I'm in solidarity, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I appreciate all the fans that continue to promote it." And this is going to sound very silly. There's a hashtag called the Blue Beetle Battalion that if you
Oh my god.
some people were tweeting around. So he literally said like, "Oh, shout out to the Blue Beetle Battalion. Everyone that's supporting the film. I can't talk about it, but I appreciate all the fans that are continuing to push it." So
You
it's
guys are
interesting
fucking
because
Swifties. I love it.
so like in so like in the future they're gonna be like, oh look, this Latino led film didn't do well. Oh, they don't want to see that. And in reality, it was during the middle of a writers and actors strike, and it didn't get any push because even before all this happened, DC has been barely promoting this film.
Yeah.
Basically, because it's this film was like the last drop of like old DC before their new wave. Even though Gunn said that this is like a part of their universe, it's really like the last vestige of like the old DC people making their stuff. And if it does well, maybe they'll have another one. I don't know. I'm very much a new Blue Beetle fan. I picked up his comic. I started reading his comics maybe like a year and a half ago. Because I always knew him as like a Young Justice character. If you guys have even, and I
That
liked him
that
there.
that was my first
Mhm.
introduction to him, and he was really good in that.
He was, and then maybe like a year and a half ago, that he like before the movie, I think was really like even before the trailer came out, they're like, "Oh, he's having a new comic," and I picked it up and I really enjoyed it. So I want to support it, but I'm like, am I? Is this like productive to the situation if I go support this? So it's
Hmm.
a whole thing you got to think about. It's very rough, but I hope as a fan I can support it. You know,
Uh-huh.
I'm not in the industry. I don't got to worry
Yeah, and
about
that's the thing too. Like, I love, who doesn't love going to the
who.
movie?
Oh
That's
my god.
that was it was a hypothetical question. But like who doesn't love to go see a good movie? Who doesn't love to do that?
Mhm.
If you guys have listened to this podcast for any number of episodes, it's very clear. Noah and I are big fans of cinema, and we're not saying if you go watch a movie, you're like saying fuck the strike or this and that. You may be saying
Mhm.
that, but if you are, keep that to yourself.
Yeah, we
But
don't want to hear it.
yeah, we're not saying that, but it's just like, damn, man, like this sucks.
Mhm.
And the thing is too, this is like a bigger question to be had because a large part of it is revolving around pay and AI. And AI is only getting better. Pandora's box has been open. I feel like this is the first of many strikes regarding AI that's going to happen because I forget which company it is. Take this with a grain of salt what I'm going to say, okay?
Mhm.
I think it's the parent company of Kotaku. Whatever. If you could look that up for me really quick now as I'm talking.
Mhm.
They they released an AI article on one of their websites, and it was evergreen content. For those who are unaware, evergreen is like, oh, here's the top 10 this, or here's the top 5 that. And it was a evergreen article of um, Star Wars. It was like, oh, here's the best Star Wars in chronological order. And they were like, here's Star Wars Episode 1, Episode 2, the Clone Wars, blah, blah, blah. But everything was out of order. Like they said that, this is going to be wrong. This isn't going to be accurate what I'm about to say. But they said like the Clone Wars is like after episode 4. And
Mhm.
like episode 3 is like before episode fucking, or is after episode 6. So there was a
Mhm.
lot of shit that was clearly wrong in that. And then all like the opening like sentence was like, in Star Wars Episode 2, Anakin fights so and so in light to defend the light side. In Star Wars Episode 3, Obi-Wan fights General Grievous to do this. Like they all started
Mhm.
virtually the same. And so there's like outside. I don't know if you probably heard of that. This is probably more of a me
No,
thing.
I've never heard of this.
This just happened not too long ago within my sphere of people. So, and all the journalists and all that were like, dude, what the fuck? And it turns out that, going back to what I said about parent companies, they published this on the websites without even telling editorial. So
Damn.
there are already AI is already like kind of here and it's already causing problems. This is just the strike is literally just the biggest one. So I'm curious, and I say curious like with like some doom goggles on, like how where this is going to escalate, because
Mhm.
journalism jobs are already um are already kind of being gunned by AI, because there was another article maybe like 6 months ago by this website called CNET. No,
Mhm.
no, I don't know the nuances, so I'm not throwing hate right now because I don't know if the editorial knew about this or not. But CNET published an AI article, a handful of AI articles, I believe, but there was one in particular that people were gunning after because that AI article blatantly stole information from other publications. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm saying too. I'm like, This is gonna this isn't gonna be the last fight around AI, but this is the biggest one
Mhm.
right now for sure.
Yeah, this I feel like the fight right now is gonna make it or break it.
Yeah.
Like we have to have these discussions now before it gets too far.
Uh huh.
But it's a whole crazy thing. I hate AI and we need to stop it.
We need to go fight it. We need to.
Did you all learn nothing from the Matrix?
I took a red pill, man. I'm woke. I escaped the Matrix.
Oh my god. It's so funny that like so many like conservative and crazy people use that like analogy
Hmm.
when like the creators of the Matrix are like two trans women now.
That's like as liberal as it fucking gets too. I love it.
Yeah. And they're just like, yeah, it turns out this was like about the trans experience of escaping heteronormity. And they're just like, fuck. Y'all aren't even paying attention. I think that's very funny.
But yeah,
But
that's
Mhm.
everything going on with the strike. So like, it kind of, like I said, it creates this weird thing. Like how like, I know you want to talk about Ahsoka. I know you want to talk about Blue Beetle. I want to talk about Ahsoka. I want to talk about Blue Beetle. But like, how do we do that respectfully? You know?
I wonder if there could be like like when people put out articles and stuff, they can put maybe I don't know, maybe like a disclaimer at the beginning,
It's funny.
like
It's funny you say
like
that.
mhm.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Like you could put like, oh, the writer of this article is in full support of the strikes going on. This is simply a critique of the artistry on display rather than the industry itself. You know what I mean? Like some sort of, I don't know, maybe some sort of like something like that. Like at the beginning of it, like we support the writers, but we are simply talking about like the art here. We are discussing the art at display.
I Okay. So the fact that you said that, so it it's so funny that we live in this timeline because I
Hmm.
I remember the guy Adam from Adam Ruins Everything got a lot of like shit back in the day, and now
Hmm.
he's kind of having like this full circle redemption. I don't remember the specifics, but I
What did
remember
he get shit for?
I forgot why. And then
I've always liked that guy.
and more recently, I remember he when the Microsoft Activision Blizzard was going like it was first announced, he went on this whole rant saying, "Oh, this is the worst thing for gaming. Sony is fucked if this goes through because blah blah." Like you're spewing a lot of misinformation, and I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
yeah, that's why I don't like you. You because sometimes kind of talk out of your ass." I'm oversimplifying it, but he's been kind of like a champion for the writers because he is a writer and he's been on strike for a hot minute now. He posted on this forum here. I'm gonna read it to you. Okay.
Mhm.
He was like,
Yeah, go for it.
this is the tweet says this before I go into the website. For folks in entertainment media wondering how to cover film and TV during the strike, the following at FSP underscore NWU put together this wonderful guide on how to show solidarity in your coverage. Check it out. Clicking the link right now. Okay. It says this opens up with the body of text. Earlier this summer, Freelance Solidarity Project members who cover entertainment industries as critics, editors, and reporters launched a pledge campaign to set a baseline for best practices for all entertainment journalists, both
Mhm.
freelance and on the staff who are covering the industry during the Writers Guild strike. Now that actors unionize with SAG and have joined the WGA on strike for better working conditions, we are back with the second initiative. Specifically, we are asking our colleagues, especially those as editors on TV and film and general entertainment verticals, to join us in adding a short editorial statement on top of your reviews and other critical coverage written and published during the strikes. Now, this they're explaining it a bit more. It says similar to a spoiler alert or an editor's note, the statement is designed to add a critical context to the contemporary coverage.
Mhm.
Especially adding this statement to a coverage will allow us as fellow workers in the entertainment industry to clarify the unique importance of this movement, the American media and labor history. It will also allow us to stand in solidarity with those in film and TV industries who are struggling as undervalued creative industry workers as inexhibity connected to our own. By acting collectively, we have the power to shift the conversation and working conditions we all share, just kind of like what you said. Now, this is the
Mhm.
statement that they are asking journalists to put in their things. This piece was written during the 2023 WGA and SAG, and I don't know, AFTRA, I'm sorry, forgive
Mhm.
my ignorance, strike. Without the labor of writers and actors currently on strike, and this is in parentheses, series, movies, etc., being covered here wouldn't exist. So that's what they're asking people to do. And he, like I
That
said,
sounds reasonable.
yeah. So that's one thing. But then, like I said, everything's kind of happening pretty quick.
Mhm.
This He tweeted that out less than 24 hours ago as of recording, and today is July 16th. So
Mhm.
maybe something else will happen. Maybe, maybe some of my editors will be like, no, we're not going to say that, but we're going to say something along those lines. Or I don't know. I'm throwing hypotheticals. My editor never told me that. Or maybe, another hypothetical. My editor will be like, we don't need to put that at all. So I don't know how this is all going to play out because there's a lot of moving pieces all at
Mhm.
once right now.
I like that idea though, that you just put like a little disclaimer like, "Hey, we stand in solidarity. Now here's our thing."
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. I hope that that actually picks up a little bit.
I mean, if the Snyderverse has taught me anything, it's that if enough people complain about something, companies will do it.
I don't know, man. I don't.
I was, we sat in that silence for like a second.
I,
We sat in that.
I just don't like. I don't understand the hype around
You,
Snyder.
well, that's what I'm saying. People complained so much they put out a new thing. That's what I'm saying. You make enough of a ruckus, they'll listen to you. That's what I was trying to say because I know you don't like or care for the Snyder stuff.
Yeah, you got me thinking about that. I was just like, oh, that was such a.
You don't want me to you don't want me to connect the writer strike with Zack Snyder.
Nah, let Snyder do whatever the fuck that Star Wars Netflix thing he's making. Let him.
Oh, Rebel Moon?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm very excited for Rebel Moon.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Just like how he hyped up his zombie heist movie. I thought it was kind of dumb fun, but it went nowhere
Is that the one
with Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista? Did that one I forget because we've talked about Dave Bautista. Did that get you to like him or were you like, eh?
Nah, that was just what I was like. It's just another. Okay. Here's the thing. When I watched that movie, I was like, dumb zombie movie about robbing a fucking casino. That's it. But
Mhm.
I didn't care for Dave Bautista in that movie at all. He tried to act. He tried to like act, and I didn't care.
Because I know you have mixed emotions on Dave Bautista.
Yeah, I think he's good at playing Drax, but then again, I feel like anyone could be good at playing Drax. And
Mhm,
he was really good in Glass Onion. He's really good in that one.
mhm. Like,
And
he can be good, he's just not always good.
I think he's having a hard time. I'm speaking on behalf of Batista right now. He's having a hard time finding his thing. You know,
Mhm.
he'll get it though. He'll get it.
He'll get it, he just gotta figure it out.
But yeah. Fuck Zack Snyder. I'm just kidding. I didn't know what to say.
That's the note we leave the podcast on. We're like, "Fuck Zack Snyder, support the writers," the end.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Snyder's supporting the strike. I don't know.
You know what? Wait, I haven't seen him on the picket lines.
Yeah, I know Chris Nolan was kind of like in solidarity with him.
When was the last time Christopher Nolan did anything? Has he put out a movie lately?
Oppenheimer, bro.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I know very little about Oppenheimer.
It's the guy who made the nuke.
I mean
What do
like
you
the
mean you
production.
know very little
No,
about?
I mean the behind the production of it.
Oh, I
Like
don't.
I don't know who's in it or anything like that.
Florence Pugh and
Oh
a few
yeah,
other guys. Einstein
that's
makes a
it.
cameo.
Mhm. He makes like a brief cameo. He's like, "Hello, I am Einstein. Goodbye," and that's
That's
all.
it.
That's
But yeah, that's everything going on. I know we had some other shit we wanted to talk about. I know you wanted to talk about Blue Beetle, you and your fucking Blue Beetle battalion. I can't.
okay. Hashtag Blue Beetle Battalion. Go see it when it comes out this August. And go pick up. Sorry. Go ahead. I could ramble for days. So you need to move on.
We're gonna move on out of this podcast. Thank you everyone for listening.
Oh my gosh. Wait, we have to do homework.
Oh yeah, what's your homework, Noah?
My homework is to go to your local comic book store this Tuesday and pick up Tales of the Teen Titans #1. This is the first time there's been 3 Teen Titan books going on at the same time. There's Titans by Tom Taylor. There's Tales of the Teen Titans, which is like an origin story type thing, I guess, by Mark Waid. And Tales of the Teen Titan has a bunch of different creators where it's like one shots around certain Titans. Go pick it up.
I saw this picture on the internet, and it made me laugh. It made me really laugh a lot because we were just talking about this maybe a few days prior to me looking at this. It was like, it was showing like a side by side picture of all the Batman villains and all the Spider Man villains,
Mhm.
and it was essentially like uh, they're back facing you, but it was like Batman's back facing you, and he's like looking at all these villains, and it looks like he's about to throw it down with them all at once. And same thing with Spider Man. And I was looking at the Batman villains. You got like the Joker, you got the Penguin, you got Riddler, you got Killer Croc, and in the top right you have Jason Todd, Red Hood, and that shit had me fucking busting the fuck up. Because I was like, what's he doing right there? Why is he considered a Batman villain? But then it made me think about when I told you, like, we were talking about, like, if I was Batman, and you're like, oh, you need a Jason. And I was like, no, I don't want someone who's trying to throw hands with me every fucking 3 minutes. And made me think of that, and I started laughing.
Oh, when I said that, I meant that you wouldn't be Batman. I meant that you would be Jason.
Oh. But yeah, sorry, that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
My homework for the week is for you to go out and go touch some grass. That's it. It's been a while. I know you've been waiting for this episode. Cooped up in
I
your
know.
house for a month.
Yeah, you've been in your house for like, and even then, we haven't told you to touch grass in a while, so it's been a couple.
Yeah, that's my homework. Simple. Go touch some grass, and then uh, Kevin Prime is having a housewarming party, and you're all invited. Every
Yeah,
single
just
one of you.
everyone have David Zaslav DM me so I can yell at him, and I'll give you the location to Kevin's party.
Yeah. Also, another way you could get it too is just by DMing Rudy at Rudy's All Right
On Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
and Threads. I don't know. Is he on Threads? I don't know.
I don't think so.
And on that note, we were going to end the podcast. If you guys have made it this far, thank you. We appreciate all of you guys.
I don't.
Please be sure to give us a 5-star review. Leave a nice little comment. We'd appreciate it. Helps us, really helps us out a lot. Noah, if people want to find you online, where can they find you?
You can find me at Noah is Garcia on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. You can check out. So I will eventually make more YouTube videos at Noah Garcia on YouTube. You can check out my photography works at Noah Garcia _photography. And that's it. What about you, Lewis? Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at Luis Gutierrez. And you can find my work at IGN and GameSpot. All you have to do is just Google my name, Luis Joshua Gutierrez, and it should pop up right there. But thank you all for listening. And also, I'm surprised you didn't mention your girl Kamala Khan getting a comic, but I guess we're gonna have to.
Oh, we didn't have the time for this.
Yeah, she's getting a comic. She's back. She's an X-Men now.
Oh yeah, the actress is co-writing Kamala Khan's new book, so that's cool.
Yeah, good for him. And on that note, we're gonna end it. Later, Gators.
Goodbye.